And so, as I'd said earlier, welcome to our second week of this Advent series. This Christmas season, we're exploring the four divine qualities, the four traditional themes of Advent, the ideas of love, of peace, of joy and hope. But we're exploring those in the sense that we're taking a look at how those divine qualities are within us, and how our role and our work in trying to manifest the Christ, which we'll be celebrating on Christmas Eve, is in realizing that we have these divine qualities within us, these abilities to be love, to be peace, to be joy, and to be hope for our world. And I couldn't help but think about how interesting it was that today was the day that we were talking about peace. You know, we'd planned this months and months ago. And then as I sat down to prepare and think about what am I going to say about how we can be peace in the world, news started to break out of San Bernardino about what had happened there. And so I started to reflect not just on that one particular event, but on all of these things that have occurred recently, on the attacks in Paris, on the attack in Colorado Springs, on Newtown, on Aurora, and that list that just goes on and on and on. And I began to reflect on all of those in our world that have been affected by violence, that have been affected by hatred. And it left me with this question: what do I do? What is mine to do to be this presence of peace in the world? How can I, reasonably, how do I stand up here and tell you to be peace in the world when I find myself questioning, how can I be peace in the face of all of this? And then I found a quote that I'd like to share with you. It's more of a paragraph. And it was written by our co-founder, by Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore, and it's included in his book, Jesus Christ Heals. And Mr. Fillmore wrote, "The only safety from chaos is unity with God. If we are not anchored to this supreme and immovable reality, we shall be exposed to the storms of mortal thought and shipwrecked on the rocks of materiality." Jesus taught that his mission was to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. The first step in his great work was the awakening of mankind to certain fundamental truths of being. He taught the power of mind, thoughts, and words. He planted the seed thoughts in our own race mind that will, when properly used, grow into the kingdom of the heavens here on earth. But peace, harmony, and love must first be planted in the minds of mankind. Jesus gave us the consciousness of peace. "My peace I give unto you." But the mind of peace precedes healing. So cast out anger and affirm the peace of Jesus Christ, and your healing will be swift and sure. You see, today is about claiming that peace that's within us. Today is about realizing those seeds of peace and accepting that gift of peace that has been given to us. Today, as Unity Church of Overland Park, we claim our amazing peace.
Amazing Peace, a Christmas poem by Dr. Maya Angelou. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Floodwaters await us in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and gray and threatening. We question ourselves. What have we done to so affront nature? We worry, God. Are you there? Are you there, really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters, streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancor, come the way of friendship.
It was A.J. Must that first wrote, "There is no way to peace. Peace is the way." So in other words, there's no path for us to follow. There's no special formula that we have to lay out to become peace in the world. Simply being the peace that we already are, that's the way to achieve peace in the world around us. There's a spiritual truth that's taught by Unity that says that realization precedes manifestation. And so what I mean by that is that before we can manifest something in the world around us, we have to first realize that we have that quality within us to be able to do it. So it's like that idea that you hear a lot with prosperity teachings in Unity. And this idea that, oh, I'm rich and I'm prosperous, and then we wonder, well, where's all my prosperity? Why hasn't it shown up yet? Or I had that picture of the Lamborghini on my vision board for about 5 years now. Why don't I have it? Because before that can show up, we have to first realize that we have that prosperity already available to us within us. So we have to realize that we are divine peace before we can even begin to do the work of manifesting peace in our world. You see, our prayer shouldn't be for peace in the world. Our prayer should be that I realize the peace that I am. Because until I realize that, I'm not going to be successful manifesting it in the world around me. You know, it's a wonderful Christmas wish that we could have, that we would all sit and see all the children of the world joining hands and singing in peace and harmony. But until we do our own interior work and we realize that we are that peace to begin with, it remains that, just a wish. So how is it that we can embolden and embody this idea of divine peace in our world? Well, it's through claiming the peace that we already are. And so the rest of our time here today is going to be an opportunity for us to claim that peace that we already are. I know personally that this time of year, for all of the joy and all of the light that the Christmas season brings, it can also bring with it worry and stress. And sometimes even a little sadness as we reflect back on family and friends that we used to spend this holiday season with that are either no longer with us or have traveled away or that we don't get to see as often. And as long as we have those thoughts of that going through our mind, we're not able to bring peace to that worry. So the first thing we're going to do is to have an opportunity to remember those family, those friends, those loved ones that may be either far away or just not here with us this Christmas season. You know, this past Sunday, after everybody left, the prayer chaplains decorated this church. They decorated the grounds, and they did a beautiful job of it. They really did. Thank you. And because I know the prayer chaplains, I also know that they didn't just decorate these trees, but they took time to bless each one as they were decorating it. But there was one tree that they left. They just put lights and put the star on it. And you can see there's already been some decorations from 9 o'clock. This tree this year, this is our remembrance tree. And people have been invited to bring with them an ornament, something that reminds them of a person, an event, an individual. And later on in the service, there'll be an opportunity for you to come up and hang those on this tree. Now, I know some of you may have not brought it, or if you were like me, it's sitting on the counter in my kitchen. So what you'll find actually is there's notepads in the pew backs in front of you. And you'll see there's paper on this as well. If you would just like to write the name of somebody on one of those pieces of paper and bring up and place that on the tree, you're welcome to do that as well. We will have the prayer chaplains will be available. You'll find them in the aisles just wandering around. Maybe it's not comfortable for you to walk up the stairs. So they would be happy to just take that item you're going to place on the tree, bless it, and place it on the tree for you. This tree will be with us throughout the entire Christmas season. And so please feel free to come up and take a look at it and to reflect on what's up there, what you brought, what others brought. Feel free to visit it throughout the year or throughout the rest of the year. And then following our remembrance tree experience, we'll be moving into a time of meditation. You see, the beautiful part of a ceremony like this is that it doesn't allow us to let go and forget. It allows us to take time to be grateful and to bring peace to a part of our heart that was maybe troubling us. And once we've brought that peace to our heart, then we can make the commitment to be the peace, to realize the peace that we are. So we'll have a little bit of the story, the poem, there'll be some music, and then we're going to have a time of meditation. A meditation focused on realizing the peace of God that already exists within us. During that meditation, you'll be invited to speak the word peace. Now, don't worry. It will be very, very clear to you when to speak and when to say along with us. And as always, with any of these sort of things where we invite you to speak a word, if it's not comfortable for you, you don't have to speak it. It was something we always made clear with the high school kids with the YOU. They always had the right to pass, and that same right to pass exists up here in the sanctuary. So you always have the right to pass if you would like. So that's how the rest of our service is going to go. It'll be a very sacred time of realizing the peace that we are, of claiming the peace that we are. Because we know the spiritual truth is that until we claim it, we can't realize it. You know, it kind of reminded me a little bit of golf, as these things do, right? Naturally, you think about peace and golf, right? But I was thinking about that idea of the realization preceding manifestation, and that's what reminded me of golf, because I know this happens to me occasionally. Fred, has it ever happened to you that you go up to take your shot, and some of the other golfers out there can probably relate to this as well, and you line up and you step over the ball, and then I always close my eyes and I take this deep breath. And it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while, as I'm breathing, I get this feeling that comes over me, and I realize that no matter what else happens, the shot I'm about to hit is going to be perfect. And it's going to go and it's going to land exactly where I want it to land. Does that ever happen to you, Fred?
All the time.
I can tell. Yeah, it's interesting, though, that perfection for you involves water.
Yeah.
But
Water doesn't count. We decided that.
yeah, no, we did decide that. Yeah, water doesn't count. But then you hit that ball and it just flies perfectly to where you want it to go. And it works like that with everything in our lives. If we take the time to realize that we can do it before we try to do it, then we can manifest the love, the prosperity, the abundance, the peace, the perfect golf shot, whatever it is that we're trying to manifest. But you have to realize that you have the ability to do it first. And so today is going to be our opportunity to realize that we already are the peace that the world is seeking.
It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Floodwaters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches breeding in dark corridors.
And so if you would, just take the item that you brought to decorate our tree with, or if you're going to use the notepad and have somebody's name on it, just hold that name, that item in your hands. And we take this opportunity now to turn within. To bring to mind the image of that person that we are remembering in this moment. To bring to mind the gratitude for the blessing that they are. For in this moment we know that the truth is, whether they're physically present with us or not, that they continue to bless our lives, that we continue to be grateful for them. And so we allow this ornament, this object, this piece of paper to simply be a symbol for our gratitude, knowing that as we place it on the tree, it is our way of saying thank you. Thank you for all that I am because of you. Thank you for blessing me in the way that you have. And I remember. And so it is. And so just as you were led, feel free to come up and place your item on the tree. There's no aisle that you should come up and go back down, nothing like that. Just come forward as you are led. So let's just turn within. And in this moment, we allow ourselves to fill with gratitude. Gratitude for this experience that we have had today. Gratitude for the blessings that those that we remember are in our lives. And gratitude for the knowledge that the peace that radiates within us is ours to claim. And so we give thanks for that peace as it washes over our heart right now. Amen. So thank you all so much for joining with us and participating in this tree this year. Certainly feel free to come up and take a look at it if you would like. And if you want to bring something in later and add to it, if there's an ornament you'd like to add to it, you're more than welcome to bring that in and add to it later. So for now, for every name on that tree, every memory, every experience, we say, thank you, God. And so it is.
In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first, it is too soft, then only half heard. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now. It is louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for. Not just the absence of war, but true peace. A harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We, the Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, come, peace. Come and fill us and our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Jainist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us, so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves and to each other.
And now I invite you to prepare for a time of meditation as we're led into this sacred moment, together singing holy.
Why
And so right here, right now, right where we are, we call forth the presence of God that we are. We consciously affirm and connect with that presence within us. We consciously affirm and connect with the presence of love within us, claiming that divine quality as ours, knowing that right now in this moment we can send that out into the world. And in this moment, we realize the truth that we already are the peace of God. We realize the truth that there is no seeking for peace. For we know that right here and right now, we are the peace that we seek. And so we allow that realization to wash over us now. We allow the truth to radiate from us, the truth that says that we are the wholeness of God. And because we are the wholeness of God, we are already filled with that which we seek. And so we allow that divine quality of peace to become realized in us now as we rest in the silence. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. And so we affirm that we are that peace. We affirm that we are the radiant light of God. And we affirm that connection together as a community by speaking the words of the Lord's Prayer. So if it's comfortable for you, I would like to invite you to join with me in speaking the words to the Lord's Prayer, using whatever words are comfortable for you. Together, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues at the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, we look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at our world and we speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other and into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother. Peace, my sister. Peace, my soul.
And Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." Amen.